Yeah. But anyway, is there anything you can do to publish an article about the things I'm telling you, or about my son's case, or can listen to the tapes or whatever, or I can talk to some of your people sometime?
I'm sure they can. You know, I'll definitely get all this information to Pastor Lamo, and I'm sure that there's something that can be done. You know, what they hate is exactly what Pastor Lamo has done in this last track, is to be exposed.
That's it. Don, you're 100% right. They really, you know, it's just like when you turn a light on, the roaches in the room go and hide under the furniture and things or something, because the light, they're afraid something's going to happen to them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And the government's the same thing. But when someone's afraid, that's when they're the most dangerous.
Right.
And the government, like I said, they've had a targeted list. The list is verbal. They don't publish it. They just tell you the names of the people. And every list that's ever come out that I've talked to them I go and meet. When I was undercover, I went on whenever they called me on my pager or my cell phone, but I went on a regular basis and met them at different locations and different buildings, different parking lots and bridges and different places and stuff. And Tony Alamo, every time they've read a list off of people that they really want, he's been on nearly every list that they told me about, of people that they're interested in and would like me to target and get to know and get into and frame. And one of the things they do now is one of the guys I know named Gregory Holt, I don't know where he is now, I think the feds have put him in jail for something, because he went around trying to expose the feds and write notices and letters about what they're doing and stuff. But anyway, Gregory Holt, the government got him on some bogus charges and stuff, this guy I know. And what they did, they wanted him to they wanted him to do Tony Alamo too, but the way they wanted him to do it is they wanted him to get in with a Tony Alamo mission and to put child pornography on Tony Alamo's computer. You see what I'm saying? To try to discredit him with child pornography.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, that's one of the easiest things to do nowadays. I've never done that thing. I'm an old guy. I'm 54, sir, and I'm not into computers. But I'm saying he's a younger guy and into computers. But some of these people that they wanted him to do deals on, they wanted him to get in their home computers and stuff and to get child pornography on their computers. Anyway, do you have my name and number, Don?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask me?
Yeah, I do.
Please do.
Okay, on the proof.
Okay.
What kind of proof do we have on this? You know, because as you notice in the literature, you know, Pastor Lamo really documents.
Right, that's good. He does.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've got some newspaper articles. I've got some receipts where I was paid by the government to go to certain cases and stuff. And let me think of what else I've got. But I'm saying you can call the government and talk to them yourself about me. You know what I'm saying? Or you can talk to some of the people I framed. The BBC, when they got here, one of the things they said, well, did you really work for the government and frame these people? I said, yes, I did. And they said, well, how can we prove it? I said, well, I'll tell you what will make it real easy. I said, why don't you call one of the main leaders of the Ku Klux Klan that I framed? And they said, okay. So they got on their cell phone, they called him up, and they said, well, did John Garry Peeler work undercover for the United States government, Bureau of Alcohol? Well, yeah, I worked for a task force, and the task force was made of the CIA, the FBI, the DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms is made by all of them. But the BATF used me a whole lot to do deals on guns and stuff, because guns is the easy way to frame people, firearm charges and stuff, especially Klan members and white supremacists and stuff, because a lot of them were heavily into firearms and so forth. So they called Wilbur Hale, one of the guys that I admitted to framing. So see, I wanted to get him legally for wanting to kill the president, overthrow the government, and blow up buildings and stuff. The government didn't wait that long. They wanted to get him off the street right now, so they got him on this firearm charge. So I had to help him manufacture. You know what an M16 is?
Yeah.
Okay. I went and helped him buy the parts and manufacture an M16 assault weapon, fully automatic, and then we busted him. And then I bought it from him and we busted him for it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, they called him up, and he told them the same thing I told him, and he said, well, he got you put in federal prison. He said, yes, he did. He got about 17 of my closest friends put in federal prison, too. You know what I'm saying? The BBC, they said, how could they authenticate it that I really did it? So they just called up some of the people that I'd put in federal prison on my undercover deals, which was easy to do.
Right.
Right. But anyway, I'm going to just drop a letter in but anyway, I've got newspaper articles where it says, out of the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, where it says Special Agent John Garry Peeler tried to frame Tom Peterson for a firearm charge. That's another story in itself. He's a white supremacist that was trying to assassinate Bill Clinton, and it comes very damn close to doing it. But anyway, they wanted to put him out of the way before he was successful at it. So anyway, when we went to court, the Secret Service went with me to court, and they let the guy slide. They let me say certain things, but wouldn't let me use Clinton's name or say that he was trying to assassinate Bill Clinton, because Clinton at this time did not need any more bad publicity. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But the guy was trying to assassinate Bill Clinton, but they wouldn't let that come out in any of the newspaper or television or articles about it or anything. But they say that Special Agent John Garry Peeler, they got my name spelled right and everything. In fact, they put me on TV. The way I got shot is, I didn't know it, but I was on TV on a Channel 7 News, and they said that John Garry Peeler, and even gave my address, and said that I was an undercover agent of the federal government, and that I had done a deal against Tom Peterson. They said this on TV, and that's how I ended up getting shot. But the only good thing about getting shot is because I was in an oxygen tent at the time they gave for the last defense, and most people didn't know about it, but I was still in the hospital at that time. Or see, I would be down in prison with my son, who's totally innocent. But I'm saying, you have my permission to check any of this stuff out, and there are different ways of verifying and stuff, like the BBC. We went to the BATF office in the TCBY building to talk to them, and they refused to talk to us, of course. But the only thing they did tell the BBC News people is that, yes, I had worked for them. But I'm saying, you can call these government outfits, and they'll tell you that I did it. There's newspaper articles, there's TV shows and stuff that I've had it and stuff. I'm going to send you just a little letter in the mail, and I'll try to make it out to you and Pastor Alamo, and I'm going to drop it in the mail today. But I'm saying, you're welcome to have your people to come by with a TV crew. I'll send you any information you want about my son's case, about my case, and about my government involvement. You can check it all out. You can check it out with the government, and I'm sure it'll make them very angry, and you need to be very careful. But the truth is the truth, Don.
Right.
And I'm saying there are different ways to prove it, and the government tries to make it as hard as they can to prove it. But I've got copies. I'll try to dig them out of my stuff. But I've got copies of pay slips where they paid me to go to court, in federal court on a few occasions, to testify against people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I've got copies of newspaper articles that you're welcome to publish about people that I framed.
Right.
You can call the people that I framed and ask them and get copies of their transcripts and see that I'm the undercover guy that framed them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you're better at verification than I am. I'll try to help you out in any way I can, because I think God has appointed Tony Alamo to expose the truth of the matter, and the more people that know, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. I think that if more people knew the truth, they would change our government a whole lot of ways, and I don't think Bush would be the president of the United States if the people knew the truth.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, it's been a pleasure talking. Do you have any more questions?
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Peeler, on the...
Like I said, you can send any of your people down. I'll talk to them. I'll make a tape. I'll make a VCR. But the reason that I think it might be important that you do in the not-too-distant future is because, like my wife, I have one life insurance policy, and my wife wants to take another one out because she has a bad feeling that the government's going to kill me in the very near future. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm going to have a tragic accident problem, you see, because they'd run like... Kathy Ferguson was a dear friend of mine. Do you know about Kathy Ferguson?
No, I don't.
Okay. She was a very good friend of mine. She went to church every time. She was non-denominational, but she went to church every time the doors were open. To the Sherwood Bible Church is where she attended. I went there with her. But anyway, she was married to Danny Ferguson. Danny Ferguson started talking about Troopergate, about Bill Clinton. And when he started talking about Bill Clinton and stuff, she started talking to news people. They were separated at the time, but the news people wanted to talk to her. Have you ever heard of the Clinton Chronicles?
No, I haven't.
Okay, the Clinton Chronicles? Okay, anyway, the Clinton Chronicles, a guy in California wrote a book about 57 people that have been murdered by the Secret Service and various people in order for Clinton to get to power and to stay in power and so forth, and she's about number 50.